Yes, I have my little face roller here. This is to depuff. Um, oh man. Um, so just because I have some time, there's like 15, there's so many things that I want to like talk about, right? But like, oh my God, it's like, where do you, okay, let's just jump on in. We're jumping right in. I really want to talk about foreign affairs, I guess, or maybe more like what it means to be a black woman right now in the world. Like in the world. So I made a video and I think this was in like 2023 where I had made this plan. I was like, yeah, I want to go adult in Ethiopia. This was like my whole goal or whatever. Now I still have that goal. It was really difficult though to think about how to do that because I didn't see many other women who were online who were making content about how to do this. So there was no point of reference. I was just like, fuck, it's going to just be me doing it. Now there's a few more things that I know, which I can share with you. Like a lot of, um, I don't know if they're called expats or people who just have a lineage in Africa or in Ethiopia specifically are moving back. And they are getting leases for apartments in Africa, in Addis or Bole. And then they're putting these listings on Airbnb. So Airbnb is a good place. It's a good um, platform to find listings around Africa. The same applies for Kenya and a lot of other African countries. So if you don't know where to start and you don't know anything, that's kind of a good place to start. But I really, to me, it just feels like this problem should be solved because, like, if you look online for a lot of listings, they do look like scams, and some of them are actually scams. But there must be some hub or something where you can just like find reputable realtors. And it does still feel like there's some gatekeeping happening because, like, some of the girls who I'm seeing, like, they're advertising places, but some of them are places to buy that are like extremely expensive. And I've done my own research, so I know that, like, the average cost of rent for most people in Addis Ababa in Ethiopia is like 70,000 birr, which is like $400 USD. So like that's the average price. That's not like super nice and it's also not super shitty. So that means that there's places that are like really way less expensive than that. So that's kind of the sort of accommodation that I'm looking for. So it doesn't seem like it should be that hard to find online. But for some reason, that information is not readily available online. So we'll table that. I will put some links in the description box, though, to a few vloggers and people that I've been following recently to kind of learn more about that market. I also want to talk for a moment about China. I just think that China is such an important player. Um, it's not just about technology and AI. It is about manufacturing and oh, there's a proper name for this, and have this written down, but it's like raw earth materials or something. And the way that the economy is playing out right now, the global economy, China has like 100% market share on the raw earth minerals, the manufacturing and supply chain aspect of raw earth minerals. And so no one is able to compete with them. And you might be like, why does anyone care about this? And let's just take this one step further. So if you're not aware, like, America doesn't make anything. Like, everything has been imported from China. If you look on the stickers and everything, it's like made in China. It's been saying that for a long time. I think some people didn't understand what that meant, but the long story short is, like, over this like 20-year span, China got really good at manufacturing everything. So now they are the best at manufacturing everything. Cars, like, if you didn't hear this, Germany makes not the Fiat. What's the really popular cars in Germany? Is it the Volkswagens, I think? They are able to make Volkswagens in China for 50% of the price that it costs to make them in Germany. So now German manufacturing is moving to China. Africa with that company BYD is China has like a whole market share where they are just going to be basically the only car manufacturer in most of the African countries that need cars right now. So they have 100% market share there. And everywhere in China where people are buying cars, they're only buying Chinese cars. And it's like that for all the products. So basically, what this means is that China, in and of itself, makes everything. The people there buy the stuff that it makes. So it's like the Chinese dollar just stays there, it doesn't go anywhere else. The problem with this is like, how would anyone else participate in the market if they make everything and they sell everything? Really think about it then. So what does America, what would it sell to China? There's nothing. We could say people keep betting on AI, whatever that means. Even if, let's just say that like America does get to AGI first, all that means is there would be some product that was readily available to the market for everyone to use, including Chinese people, and their AI technology is very on par with ours right now. So if there was some algorithm that was like so much better than what they have, then in a day or a week they would be able to copy it and then implement it into their own systems, which are already WeChat. If you don't know what WeChat is, I don't know if like now is an appropriate time to explain what WeChat is, but WeChat is basically like Twitter. Elon Musk gave a really interesting talk with this guy. Is it Namish or something? Highly recommend you watch that. There have actually been like four talks that I've seen recently, and I will put them in the description box. But it's like Tim Ballou and Destiny had this really interesting talk about politics. I guess it happened like 4 months ago, but I just saw it. There's been a couple interesting talks by Sam, and then Elon Musk and that Indian guy gave a really good talk more recently. And then Ilya Suskevich, who he's like a really important researcher. I think he was at OpenAI, maybe at Google, but now he's working on something called SSI, which is like super safe intelligence, which is like an AI company, but they haven't like put out any product. So it's kind of super secretive, but he's definitely building something. I would probably keep an eye on that. Um, and then also, I just think the thing that is like kind of keeping me, not keeping me up, but it does have me concerned a bit. People continue to talk about, not people, mostly Sam. Sam Altman keeps saying, like, oh, yeah, well, AI is going to be so efficient, it will be able to do all jobs. And therefore, because AI is able to do all jobs, we will have super universal high income. And I think that that is complete bullshit. Like this, the entire American system is built on like a racial hierarchy. Like our entire social system is based on haves and have nots. I have education, you don't have education. I have an apartment, you don't have an apartment. I have food, you don't have food. It's the whole system. And I really appreciated the conversation with Elon Musk, who basically explained that the entire purpose of money is for labor allocation. I don't think that's true at all. I think that money right now is being used to consume goods and services. Um, and I think that the idea of America was to sort of get away from the aristocracy and the bourgeoisie, or the working class and the aristocracy, and have it sort of, the whole idea of a blue collar worker with dignity and labor laws is like very new. But because that is going away, the aristocracy is not just going to like lie down and let people live in America. So this idea of universal basic income will never work. So whatever Ilya is building, and I think a lot of people have been talking about whatever just came out with Gemini 3, That's by Google, it's their AI, is really important. But I would caution everyone to just stop for a second, because like we all have different interests and we all have different morals, we all have different values. So yours might not be mine, and that's okay. It doesn't have to. Like we don't have to align. And I got to be completely honest. I feel like if you're not like an Ethiopian person, or at least a part of the African diaspora, your future and mine have nothing to do with each other anyway. So like what you're building doesn't matter to me. I want to make that clear. But I do think that some things are kind of interesting, because I do feel like um some black Americans do need some guidance, especially like black American women. I think that the like poverty clusters that many black American women have been living in are going to turn into indentured servitude unless the women figure out a way to like participate in the global economy, or just, function basically in Africa, because America is probably going to turn into like a forced labor camp. And like many black American women don't even have um skills or ability to function in a useful kind of way. And especially if your genetics are so that like you don't even have the aesthetic or mental capacity to contribute useful children, then what is your purpose? I would really encourage people to start asking questions like that, like what is your purpose? I don't know. I feel like that was a culmination of just so many very macro ideas. But like one thing I've been doing recently is like at night, there's a lot of these conversations that are happening, but they're pretty long conversations. And so I just watch the conversation, and then over time, because these conversations are like, 2 hours long. So I'll watch the conversation, and then I'll like post about the conversation. Well, I've been writing about it, but I will put the links in the description box to all of these conversations, so that if you have the time and you're kind of wondering, oh, okay, so how did Olivia gain her insight? You'll know. You'll be able to just like follow along. So, hope that helps.